Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. They are parents who wanted to make a difference by getting involved, supporting their students in the classroom. On this episode of the Supercast, find out why some passionate parents at Oakcrest Elementary School fell in love with the classroom, so much so that they decided to pursue a career in education to become teachers themselves. We're here at Oakcrest Elementary with Veronica Holyoke, one of the administrators here. You're the assistant principal at Oakcrest.
Yes.
Introduce yourself a little bit and tell us why we're here for the podcast.
I joke that I'm Veronica Holyoke at Oakcrest Elementary on Hilltop Oak Drive. So a lot of oaks. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. The acorn doesn't fall far from the
Right,
tree.
that's right. Yes, exactly. We're here because I was noticing my instructional coach and I, her name's Marla Daniels, shout out to Marla. She and I spend a lot of time looking for the good that's going on in our school, and we have this draft of all the good things that our teachers and our aides and our support staff are doing all the time, and then we make a weekly shout out video that we share with everybody to highlight all the good things we're doing. And in doing that this past year, we noticed that we had so many aides that were pursuing education. The more we got to know them, the more that we, created a community of teachers. And so I felt like that was so powerful that I wanted to share that with you, because now we're up to 7 aides that are pursuing or have graduated with a career in education, and 2 we've hired to teach at our school for this next year.
And you emailed me, I think it was back in February,
Yes.
to tell me about this story.
It was on a snow day, one of our virtual snow days.
Well, hey, there's another silver lining to that snow day.
Yes.
That there was time for
I
you
had
to pause
time, that's
and send me
right.
that email.
Yes, correct.
And we've been thinking about this story ever since, and I know it has evolved even since you emailed me in February.
Because I think it was only maybe 5 or something like that, and now we're up to 7.
And we are now in the media center here, and there's nothing quieter than an elementary school media center in the middle of July.
Yes, it's a little
And
eerie.
so we're here to talk with 3 of the employees here at Oakcrest, and we want to talk with you about your path forward and your connections to Oakcrest. So just introduce yourself.
My name's Natalie Slack. I'm connected to Oakcrest by my children go here, and then I started here last year as a math aide. I'm currently going to school to be a teacher. I've got about 1.5 years left of school. Before this, I had been interested in education, but had never pursued past where I am now.
Great. And tell us about your connection.
My name's Natalie Osborne. My kids go to Oakcrest, and I would volunteer in their classes. I had a different career, and I had a couple days off, so I would come in, and I just absolutely fell in love with elementary schools. So I decided to go back to school. I graduated in December and then was hired by Oakcrest to be a critical needs aide in December as well. And I did that throughout the year, and then I was hired to teach 5th grade at Oakcrest next year.
Okay, tell me about your path.
Hey, I'm Megan Grosaint, and when the boundaries realigned in 2020, my kids started coming here. My youngest was in 1st grade that year, and there was an opportunity to apply to be a literacy aide, and so I did that, and I worked as a literacy aide. And within probably 2 months, I knew that it was time to go back to school and finish my degree and pursue elementary ed.
Now tell me about those 2 months, because I'd love for lots of people to have that exact same idea dawn on them, that yes, I need to go back to school and I need to be a teacher. Tell me what happened there. What made you want to do that after 2 months as a literacy aide? Tell people a little bit about what the job is like as a literacy aide, and then why that led you to wanting to be a teacher.
So the first, we hadn't started the Walk to Read program that year. So that year I would just work with 3 classes and work with individual students that needed some extra help with literacy. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with being with kids, with helping them to grow. And I was always constantly trying to think of new ways to help. And I just didn't want to leave. I wanted to be with them all day. So it led me to jump right in and get my degree, and now I get to be with them all day.
Your brain and your heart, it sounds like,
My
just
brain.
started firing, and you couldn't turn it off. That's really what
Yes.
happens, is you get with the kids and you can't turn it off.
You can't. Nope.
The teachers that you worked with had an impact on that as well.
Oh yeah, the teachers here are awesome.
Now tell me, you have now been hired as a teacher for the coming fall. What is on your mind? It's July. They're coming next month. So
Yeah.
I remember the feeling. It was a long time ago, but I still remember it.
Yeah, I'll be teaching sixth grade in the fall, and so right now there's a lot in my brain from what my classroom's going to look like to what I'm going to be teaching. So I'm just trying to get it all on paper and organized and look at the curriculum and really kind of try and break that down and figure out what I'm going to be teaching this year.
And I'm sure you're thinking back on your student teaching as you prepare for next year. Tell me about the student teaching experience.
Well, I student taught in second grade, so the curriculum is much easier for me to grasp than the sixth grade is. So I did my student teaching in second grade, and it was awesome. It was just being with them all day and getting to really dive into different subjects and figure out different ways that I can teach and introduce them to a curriculum. And we did a lot of fun things together, and it was a good time.
I've always admired elementary teachers' ability to keep kids going for the whole day. I was a secondary teacher, and I had to make it work for 50 minutes. And I just, that last 15 minutes, if it's tough, we struggle through and I get a fresh batch the next hour.
Yeah.
But that whole day with students, and I know there are rotations and there are some other things happening, but it really takes a special person and a unique approach to make sure that you're connected throughout the day and effective throughout the day. But you also have deep relationships that you don't get when they leave every hour. You really get to know them in a different way throughout the day. You've experienced that as an aide and as a student teacher, I'm sure.
Yep. And those relationships, your day goes really fast because you have the kids that finish faster and the kids that don't finish as fast, and you find time to fill in those last 15 minutes because you're working with different students on different things.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm really excited that you've pursued a career in education. And you did your student teaching here, right?
Yep.
You were an aide here,
was an
your
aide
children
here, my
are
children
here,
were here.
and you're teaching here.
I'm here for life.
You are here for life. All right, I'm going to hold you to that. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk with Natalie Osborne and Natalie Slack.
Hello, I'm Sandy Reescraft, Director of Communications for Jordan School District, and we want to invite you to connect with us. So many exciting things are happening in your child's school, your neighbor's school, in every school here every day. Don't miss out on following the fun or simply staying informed when there's important information we need to share. Join us at jordandistrict.org or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jordan District. We can't wait to connect.
Now, let's talk with Natalie. This Natalie, not that Natalie. This Natalie for right now. Tell me about your path. Now, you said you had a previous career before you started, as you started volunteering.
Yes.
You had some time available. Tell me about that career.
I went to college for like one semester, and I was working at a title company, and I fell in love with title, doing closings on homes. I'm licensed to still do that. I worked for the best title company in Utah, but I just kind of got bored with it. I felt like I needed a different challenge for myself, and I felt like I needed to make a difference. Like I was watching all these choices, I was watching all these teachers and the difference they were making in my kids' own lives, right? When they would come home and watching the growth in my children. And when I would volunteer, I wanted to be part of that. Like just to see the light come on in a student is the most amazing thing. It's like parenting, like teaching so hard, just like parenting, but those little glimpses is what makes everything worth it to me. So I worked full-time and went to school full-time and finished up. I did my student teaching at Fox Hollow, so just around the corner.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fox Hollow. I still love you guys. And then I got hired here. I was on the school community council, so I kind of already had some connections here, and my kids have always attended here. So it was just a great opportunity for me. Being a critical needs aide, I felt like I learned so much about behaviors and behavior plans, and I fell in love with my student that I worked with, and he was difficult sometimes, but like you just learn so much and you learn to create those relationships, and I could see the difference in him when I created that bond. So it's something that I plan to do with my own students. Is it's really important to cultivate that relationship so that they'll learn from me. So
you described what it feels like to be a teacher very
Yes.
well. That's exactly how it feels. And I love the idea that you saw the impact on your own kids. Tell me about that.
Yeah, my kids, I have two, well, they just graduated from 6th grade. I have twin girls and then a son in 1st grade going into 2nd grade. And my girls struggled in kindergarten and 1st grade. And it was really hard because as a parent, I felt like, man, like I don't even know how to help them. We read at home or we do this at home. Like I didn't know. And their teachers, when I would go to parent-teacher conference, the care that they had for my kids, they really wanted to help them. It wasn't just a job, right? Like I don't know any teacher out there that it's just a job to them. Like
Right.
if you're gonna do this, you're gonna care. And just seeing all the growth that I would work with the teachers and be like, okay, what can I do at home to help these guys be more successful in school? And they were always there to be like, try this, this, and this, and we would work on it. And it was just a team effort, and the growth in my girls from not being on grade level to now being on grade level and being set up for success in middle school has been amazing. And I mean, my son, literally the snow days that we talked about earlier, would cry because he couldn't go to school. He had the most amazing teachers so far.
Wow.
So
That's a great
yeah,
endorsement.
yes, like his 1st grade teacher was amazing. So he absolutely loved it, and just to see them grow, not only academically but socially too.
Yeah.
Like his 1st grade teacher taught them so many social emotional skills that I did not think I would deal with in 1st grade, all the
Sure.
drama.
Sure.
But it's just amazing to see your kids grow and to have a community that cares about them, right? It's not just their parents that care about them, but everybody here at Oakcrest, all the aides, the administration, their teachers. It's amazing.
It is an exceptional school, that's for sure. Tell me about being a critical needs aide. Some might not understand exactly what that involves.
I was assigned to help a student that needed an aide with him at all times for behavior reasons. So we kind of set up our own curriculum. Marla Daniels had some work that we could do together. We worked a lot on his reading and math skills. One thing I noticed for him is because he wasn't on grade level, we have a Hot Reads challenge here. And so I just let him choose whatever book, and he was able to earn pins for that. And the difference it made for him to feel like he had achieved something was huge, right? It didn't matter that it wasn't on his grade level, but it made such an impact on him. And I think too, the aides that worked with him, we all just cared about him and we rallied around him, and it just made such a huge difference in his life. I hope it made a huge difference in his life.
No doubt
But-
that it made a permanent
Yeah.
impact on his
Yeah.
life in a positive way.
Yeah, I hope
Thank
so.
you for that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell me,
Yeah.
what are you teaching next year?
I'll teach 5th grade.
5th grade?
Yep,
Okay. And what is your, how are you feeling right now? Mid-July, looking forward to next month?
I'm like excited just because I'm ready to just get in there.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm like Megan, where I've thought about things a billion times over and over and over, and now I'm like, I just need to do it.
Yep.
Like I just need to do it.
We've been hired since February. It's
Yeah.
time to time to teach.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
long time. That's
So we're
a,
just like ready to get in the classroom and meet our students, and
that's a lot of anticipation.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and it'll be great to have a week under your belt. And you
Yes.
go, I got week 1, we're set, and here comes the month.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it'll be Halloween, then it's Christmas, and then it's February again. But that's awesome. Okay, Natalie too. Now, not Natalie TWO, Natalie TOO. You're also Natalie.
Exactly.
Tell me about your path forward.
So my path is kind of one of those where I started started college right out of high school, and I knew I wanted to be a teacher then. In high school, I went to the elementary school for one of my classes.
Yeah.
And I actually went to Welby Elementary, and her name was Miss Leffler. She made me want to be a teacher. That lady was awesome. I helped her all year for first grade. She was my host teacher.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I got out, started college, and I got married, bought a house, and life kind of got in the way. And then I was like, I was done. I didn't like the job I was in, and so I was like, I'm going to try something new. And I talked to Mr. Westwood, and I got hired on here last year. And as soon as I did it, I was like, Megan, you do it for 2 months, and you're like, I'm not leaving. I am staying here. I love it here. And so I started going back to school, and everyone working here while you're going to school, I think, is a really huge advantage, because when I have questions, what better group to ask than the teachers here.
Right. You're surrounded by experts at all times.
Yes. So it's been amazing to have all the support. They egg you on when you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And having my children here, being able to work and see my kids more and like Natalie said, be able to participate in my kids' schooling, where before when I worked, I didn't get to do that all the time. Some jobs it's that 9 to 5 thing and you're stuck there.
Right.
I don't feel like that here, and I love what I do. Being a math aide, I was a little hesitant to do that because I'm like, I don't know if I'm an expert at that, but I have definitely learned a lot over the last year, and I feel like I have an advantage where I get to work with all the kids, first, second, the whole shebang. So I get to meet all these kids and experience all the curriculum, and it's very eye-opening.
So you're a celebrity walking down the hall then.
Yeah. Yep. Or
Lots
in the
of thumbs
grocery
waving.
store.
Yeah, that's right. In the grocery
Everywhere,
store.
the gas station.
Right. Everywhere you go.
Yep.
Yeah. I was always when I was a high school teacher, I was always envious of the driver ed teacher for the same reason, because he had every student for one quarter. And as a result, he knew everybody in the school, and I was always envious of that. Walking down the hall with him, he knew everybody. He was a central part of the school, and that's you with getting to be a math aide as well.
When these guys got their list for next year, it was like, look at who are these kids? Like, can you tell me about them? Who's this?
Because you do all of them. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
It's nice to, like I said, it's a good place to learn while you're in school.
And tell me about your school. Where are you going? And
so right now I just graduated with my associates. So now I'm going to Western Governors University, which I had a lot of the teachers, including these two, suggest, because they were, it's online. Right. So I'm able to work here. It works with my schedule. And I've had a lot of teachers here say that's the path that they went down. And I've only been there a few weeks, and it's been great. So I'm looking forward to progressing through.
And you have some friends here that are paving the path a little bit ahead of you.
Yes,
so now
nice.
You get to talk with them and learn from them as they start teaching this fall.
Yes, Natalie is actually my next door neighbor.
Wow.
Yeah. So
the web of connection is deepening
it's
here.
Deep.
Yeah.
It's deep.
That's
it's
awesome.
nice, and Megan doesn't live very far away, and so it's nice, like I said, to have all these resources at your fingertips, and they're really great about, look, you should try this while you're in school or this, and it's just nice to have a path.
And by the time you graduate and you're hired as a teacher, you're just going to be exactly like they are right now. get me in that classroom. I'm ready to teach. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I there's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, if someone listening is thinking, you know what, I wanted to be a teacher, and I've thought about that. I've volunteered or I've been an aide, and maybe I should do that. What advice would you give them? What would you say to them?
Just do it. Just go for it. I went through Western Governors University too, and it's awesome because you can go at an accelerated pace. Because I'm not getting any younger, and I wanted to get it done. So I was able to push through it really fast. And I mean, if you're at the school, if you're volunteering, if you love it, I just say go for it.
I also went to Western Governors, and I can't say enough good about it. It was amazing. I was able to work full time, and then in the cracks of my life, go to school full time. And like Megan said, you can really accelerate it, which helped get through school faster for us. I feel like it prepared me as much as you can be prepared for your first year. Yeah. But yeah, go for it, because I was so worried. I used to think that I couldn't make it through college, like I was too busy or I was not smart enough or all these things. And it's not true at all. And go for it. And it's amazing. It pays off in the end, and you get to teach amazing little humans.
Absolutely.
And what kind of stopped me for a while is I kind of felt like I was too old. I'd missed the boat, starting a new chapter.
Yeah, it's never too late.
Yeah, if you're willing to apply yourself to the group, the atmosphere for teaching, it's totally worth it. And if you have that, I don't know, the feeling inside that this is where you're supposed to be, then you need to do it 100%.
I love that. So dive in, cast the fears aside.
Yes.
And if you're excited about it, then do it. And obviously it's energizing to do something you didn't expect to do, and something new that maybe you'd written off and thought was no longer available to you.
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time today. It's been awesome talking with you and getting to know you, and I'm definitely going to drop in a few months into the school year and say hi. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you will do today. We'll see you out there.